everyone, it's Michael from Fire and Brilliance and
Sid from I was holding out my fingers
for
episode
episode 10.
10. Yes.
I'm spilling the tea with F&B, and today's episode is something that actually our fans wanted to talk about.
Yeah, we wanted to talk about celebrity trends with ring styles today.
Celebrity trends, ring styles, what is popular, what is trendy, what these celebrities are actually wearing that is very customized, because obviously these are not more or less a lot of these, the ones that we'll be talking about today, are not something that you can just go into the mall and find. It's more or less, okay, well, in order to get it, you got to customize it, right?
Yes, for sure.
So
in particular, I wanted to talk about a few certain ring designs by these select celebrities, because, you know, there are a lot of trends that are going on right now. Some stay and some come and go. But these ones are highlighted as of the moment. Emily Ratajkowski, an American model and actress best known for her appearance in Robin Thicke's Blurred Lines music video. Her engagement ring features two center stones that are adjacent to each other, princess cut next to a pear cut, and they sit very close next to each other on just one band.
Right.
And if you can see up close, we have a picture somewhere on the screen here.
Yeah, so hopefully we're able to put that picture up on here somewhere, and we'll also link it for those that are listening to the podcast. You know, you can actually go to our YouTube channel and just find the link.
Yeah, or if you
there should be a link on the podcast as well.
Googled also, that would also help.
Right.
And then she also pairs that with a very large and thick yellow gold band as well. So there's two different metals going on there as well.
Right.
And I actually ran a poll with our Fad fans on Instagram to see what they thought about it, because I believe that, you know, for, you know, a particular person, maybe this isn't for them, or maybe this is for them. It just depends on, like, what kind of stones that you paired with each other.
And I absolutely agree, because at the end of the day, jewelry is an art.
Yeah.
You know, I think we've said this many times in the past in many of our episodes, and jewelry at the end of the day is an art, so you could definitely customize it. It's a fashion statement. It's a to many, it's a status symbol. To others, it's something that reflects how they feel when they are wearing jewelry, just like clothing or the colors of your shoes or what have you, the way you do your hair, whatever, right? So that's a statement as to who you are as an individual. So there's really no right or wrong answer. Now, my take on her ring is with these two center stones. I call it center stones because these stones are huge, right?
They're huge.
Most people will use it as one center stone. But for her, she used two large stones, and one is a pear shape, like you said, and the other one's a princess. If we are to take one of the center stones away, it really looks like a classic solitaire setting.
Yeah.
The only difference is that she's pairing both stones next to each other with a beautiful, thick, and large classic solitaire plain band. So in a sense, it has a very classic and traditional touch to it, but with a modern type of flair, because there are two stones as opposed to just one.
Right. It's very avant-garde in that sense. It's a very avant-garde twist on a classic. Which is very unique. May not be for everyone, but it may be for you. Who knows? So I ran this poll, and I said, what do we think of Emily Ratajkowski's engagement ring? And the options were, give me the clusters, or too many stones. And even though the percentages were as this, the comments were weighing in as well. So 16% actually said, give me the clusters. And 84% said too many stones.
Got it.
But we had one person, let's see here, says, I love it. It makes artistic sense to me. It isn't as much as a cluster to me as it is a tribute to the clean-lined modern art that our society has too closely clung to in this period of art history. I want this for myself, but a pair and marquee. Hello.
That was very well thought out. I mean, very well written as well.
Yeah, and there was a lot of thought that went into that, a lot of emotion, and I feel like, with a lot of different designs out there, if it's for you, it's usually because you have an emotional tie to it in some way or another.
Of course.
It speaks to you. And that's the way art should be, you know? It should be subjective. It should be something that, like, speaks to you, doesn't have to speak to everybody else. It's like when you're the artist and your art doesn't have to speak to everybody else. That's how you're expressing yourself.
Right.
And let's see. Another person says, I ran a different poll with like yellow gold and platinum, and then someone commented, yes, underrated. And then the same person commented on the poll that I just mentioned and said, I also think this is hideous.
So you got full range of emotions, opinions.
I did. Like, yes, no.
Right.
Uh-huh.
It's not a simple yes or no, right?
Yeah, and then another person weighed in and said, how could you not love this?
Right, yeah.
And then another person goes, agreed, that double stone is the worst thing I've ever seen. And then I laughed and I said, ha ha ha, I love you all. You know, like, I love all of the different feedback that we were getting. And
right.
It's just a fun conversation to have.
So it sounds to me as if there's 16% that is very accepting of different ways of how to create jewelry, and the other 84% just thinks it's absolutely hideous.
Right, because maybe they have a certain way of how they want
how they
an
envision
engagement ring
yeah.
to look like.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's Kylie Jenner's ring. Now, I don't know if this was her engagement ring or if it was a fashion statement, but she has this gorgeous 4 emerald cut, like center stone type of ring, mm-hmm. 4 same size on social media, and it's I kind of like would describe this as a ring wrap because it doesn't it's not a full eternity of a ring altogether. It kind of wraps around her finger, contours around it, but then there's an opening in the middle there from bird's eye view. Now, I believe that this looks really, really sleek. There's like 2 emeralds on either side of them. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just because like the way that the step cut is elongated of a shape, and then it kind of just runs along her finger as well. I think that's very flattering. Right. So I think it always depends on like, well, maybe, the princess cut and the pear cut aren't for you, but maybe, a different cut pair to another one would be cool. Like maybe a round and a marquee, maybe any ideas?
I think the way Kylie Jenner's ring was designed is, personally, between that ring and Emily's ring, I actually like Kylie's ring more.
I do too.
But her ring is really, really nice because there's 4 emeralds. It's somewhat symmetrical, but not really, and it's parallel to the finger. So I like the way that one's definitely designed.
Yeah, and from the right angle, it can look like they're floating stones on your fingers, which is super cool.
Right.
But yeah,
the band doesn't fully enclose.
Our opinions are our opinions. So
right. Yeah.
You can sound off in the comments below and see what you think as well. Moving on from that trend, we have something that one of our Fab fans wanted to talk about, which is Blake Lively and Hailey Baldwin's engagement rings separately. Very, very similar because one was actually modeled after the other. Large oval center stone, 7 carat. That's the one that belongs to Blake Lively, with a diamond pave, or I believe like 3 rows of diamond accents on the 3 visible sides of the ring. That is super, super popular. Something that maybe our consumers or maybe potential consumers would like to see as part of our collection. Hailey Baldwin's ring is very similar. It's around like 6 to 10 carat, I believe. That will be pictured as well. Those 2 will be pictured on hand here. Now, what do you think about that?
I think those rings are absolutely stunning. Now, although these are celebrity rings and they are very trendy at the moment, these are not by any means actually something that the industry have not done, right? So for example, Kylie's ring and Emily's ring, those rings are really different. But for Blake Lively and Hailey Baldwin's rings, basically the center stone, the large center stone with micropave settings of 3 sides of accent diamonds, it's actually pretty industry standard for the most part. The prongs are thin and petite. It really showcases the center stone because these center stones are huge, right? So you mentioned
ginormous.
Yeah, you mentioned it was going to be anywhere between 6 to 10 carats. I mean, these are huge, and
yeah, it's not something nonchalant to say. It's like it's pretty large.
And these are natural diamonds, and based on the pictures that I saw, they look like crushed ice ovals. So these are really, really large center stone diamonds, as well as the overall design. It's a very modern, beautiful look and feel that a lot of people are going for these days, where the shank is thin and petite. The diamonds are set on a micro pave setting or a pave setting, and at the end of the day, what a pave setting is to minimize the metal. So that it looks like the gemstones on the sides of accent diamonds look as if it's floating on the finger, as opposed to having
keyword of the day, folks, floating.
Right, on the fingers, or the finger rather, and that's the whole purpose. So it's very, very chic. It goes well with a lot of different types of outfits, right? So that's the reason why people like it, because it really goes well with everything. It's a nice touch between the traditional look and feel of a plain solitaire ring, but it gives it more of a pop with all of the diamonds that just is pretty much glittered all over the solitaire.
Right,
So,
I think so too.
Yeah.
Even though it's something that like maybe on the practical side, if you were to just like be very active, you wash the dishes a lot, or
Yeah.
you know, like it would be, you know, hard to be mindful of it every single time, but to wear it out in public or to wear it to a party and just like, you know, have a conversation.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be really cool to just have. And
Right. Exactly. I think it's nice for every setting, from a cocktail party to even just a conversation in the living room, right?
Yeah.
So it's not too much, it's not too little, it's just right.
Yeah.
So there you go. So that's
art.
our take. That's our take on celebrity trends. If you guys do have a comment, an opinion, or what you like, what you don't like, or if there is a different subject that you want us to cover or a different celebrity ring that you want us to cover, let us know. We're more than happy to cover that for you. Okay. So thanks again. This is the Fire and Brilliance Spilling the Tea with F&B with Sid and I, and I'll see you again next time.
Bye.
Bye.